Hey, I'm Matt Manny. Thanks so much for watching. Today, the devotional we're talking about is Day 6, You're Not Alone When You Feel Lonely. It sounds kind of redundant, but the understanding is this whole devotional itself is talking all about that sense of loneliness in all these different arenas and circumstances and situations of life. We live in a very populated urban area. It's an urban center just west of Philadelphia. And what's amazing is this, that we live in an area, specifically in a 5-mile radius, where there's over 500,000, close to 600,000 people. And yet some of the people that I talk to, and even in my own life, there's a deep sense sometimes of loneliness. With all the people around us, we find that even in our society, as connected as we are, that people can still sense loneliness. It's so serious that in the UK, back several years ago, that they decided to go ahead and create a position called the Minister of Loneliness. They say that loneliness is a serious issue, and it's prevalent for 36% of not just the American population, but for the UK, it's a massive issue enough that they created a department for it on Parliament, and they've allotted $3 million in their budget to deal with and combat loneliness in their country. Loneliness can come in different forms for different people. It can be loneliness because someone has lost their spouse. Loneliness can be a sense of being misunderstood or misheard. Loneliness can be because we don't have many friends. Loneliness can be because we struggle because of where we live in proximity to other people. Loneliness can come in all kinds of different forms and different waves and stages of life and different seasons of life. And grief comes from loss. And grief comes as we feel lonely at times. A universal fear that we all have is that of loneliness and abandonment. I do, and I'm guessing at some point in life you have as well, or maybe do at this time. David says in Psalm 25 verse 16, "Turn to me and have mercy, for I am alone and in deep distress." Can you feel the emotion he has there? But as much as he feels lonely and depressed, he claims God's promises of God's presence to combat the loneliness. Psalm 68 verse 6 says, "God places the lonely in families. He sets the prisoners free and gives them joy for those who are lonely." We find that God is near to us if and when we look for Him. And we can see His fingerprints in the snowflakes, and we can hear His faithfulness carried in a bird's song on the back of the wind. And God's love and presence is found in a hug of a friend, even the smile of a stranger. The fellowship and the connection we long for can be found in community with others who love God and live for God. And that's why church is a really important part of the spiritual growth and development of any believer's life, for any one of us, to have that community, to have that place. The church can help ease those feelings, especially when we might be struggling with loneliness. Remember that God has not left you abandoned or alone, that you may feel lonely, but you are never alone. Our words of encouragement come today from Psalm 91. Thanks so much for watching.